So I have here a title from plasma to tissue fluid to lymph, because lymph doesn't form automatically on its own. So it really begins with the plasma. So the plasma is actually that pale straw colored or yellow liquid portion of blood. So it actually makes up 55% of blood, and it provides the fluid medium for blood cells. So when we talk about blood, we would mention plasma along with the blood cells. You have the red blood cells, the white blood cells, the platelets. So the plasma makes up the largest portion of the blood. So it mostly consists of water with dissolved nutrients such as proteins, the clotting factors, electrolytes. So electrolytes are like the different ions that are dissolved in the plasma. Calcium ions, sodium, potassium, all of those are considered electrolytes. So it consists of, the plasma is made up of these nutrients and also waste that needs to be removed from tissues. So the waste would include carbon dioxide. So the main function of plasma is really to transport nutrients and waste in the blood. So from plasma now, we go to interstitial or tissue fluid. So I'm just going to outline each of these parts, and then we're going to go over to look at this diagram here, the capillary bed, to show you exactly how we go from plasma to tissue fluid to lymph. So the tissue fluid is actually going to be leaked plasma from capillaries, because capillaries, they're small, thin-walled blood vessels, but they have these small gaps, these tiny gaps where the plasma in the blood can actually leak out of the capillaries. So once that plasma leaks from the capillaries, it is actually known as tissue fluid. So this tissue fluid is going to surround and bathe the cells in our tissue spaces. So the true function of the tissue fluid is to provide cells with nutrients and removes waste. So the tissue fluid surrounds all of our cells, therefore providing those cells with nutrients and removing any waste that the cells would have produced. So from the tissue fluid now, once that tissue fluid is drained into lymph capillaries, it is then known as lymph. So lymph is pretty much drained tissue fluid, excess tissue fluid. So when we have the drainage of the tissue fluid into the lymph capillaries and collected in the larger lymphatic vessels, then they can be transported back to the circulatory system. So let's look at this diagram here. So we're looking at the capillary bed. So you're seeing a lot of cells that make up the tissue, and you're seeing the capillaries, and you have the arteriole. The arteriole is a small artery, so the blood going through the arteriole is going to be under high pressure. So this is blood that usually is coming from the heart. So that high pressured blood now is going to flow through the capillaries, and remember, this blood is going to be carrying all the nutrients that needs to be deposited into the cells of the tissues. So the blood is transported through the capillary. So as I said before, the capillary has tiny gaps. So the plasma in the blood leaks out into the cells that make up the tissue. So once that plasma or in the blood leaks out into the tissues and bathes the cells, is known as tissue fluid. So that's what you're seeing here. So the tissue fluid is what is surrounding all these various cells of the tissue. And then once the tissue fluid offloads the nutrients, deposits it to the cells, then the excess tissue fluid ends up draining into the lymphatic capillaries, the lymph capillaries, and then into the lymphatic vessels. So we're seeing here, this white structure here is representing the lymphatic vessels. So once all the nutrients have been deposited, transported into the cells, any excess fluid remaining behind needs to drain back into the lymphatic vessels. So then that lymphatic vessels is going to take the lymph. So this is the point when the fluid is called lymph. As soon as it gets into the lymphatic vessels, that is when it's known as lymph, and it will be transported in the lymphatic vessels throughout the body. So it's going to pass and meet up with the lymph nodes, where filtration is going to occur. So remember, the lymph nodes contain the white blood cells that are going to get rid of any pathogens present in the lymph. So therefore, on the other side now of this capillary bed, so the blood carrying the plasma is now going to be transported through the venules. So it's going to be under lower pressure now, because the blood flowing through the venules and then linking up to the veins is going to be under less pressure. So remember, veins have valves to prevent backflow. So because the blood is so low pressured, it's more likely to experience backflow. So the veins are going to have those valves to prevent backflow. So this blood then will then return to the heart again, and is usually going to be lacking the nutrients, lacking the oxygen, so it returns to the heart, where the heart will pump that blood to the lungs to pick up the oxygen again. So this is the capillary bed, and this is how lymph is formed. So we go from plasma in the blood to tissue fluid bathing the tissues, the cells of the tissues, and then once that tissue fluid releases its nutrients, that fluid will drain into the lymphatic vessels, and then it is known as lymph. So what are the functions of the lymphatic system? So I have 4 main functions listed here. So it includes collecting and transporting the excess tissue fluid, as I just mentioned when it was describing how the lymph is formed. So that excess tissue fluid becomes lymph, gets into the lymphatic vessels, and then the other function is to get rid of waste and filters pathogens in the lymph nodes. So that lymph travels to the lymph nodes and is filtered, gets rid of the pathogens, gets rid of any waste. And thirdly, the lymphatic system is responsible for returning filtered fluid to the blood circulatory system. So once that lymph has been filtered, gotten rid of all the pathogens, it returns to the circulatory system in the body. So remember, the circulatory system contains the blood vessels, the heart. So that filtered fluid, filtered lymph, is going to return to the blood circulatory system. So then it pretty much becomes plasma once again. And then the fourth function, this is more related to the digestive function and transporting of fats from the digestive system. So if you recall, the villi have special lymphatic vessels called lacteals, so they're responsible for transporting fats from the digestive system. So that is the overview of the lymphatic system and its main functions.